Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Justin Growth Show. Today is 5 o'clock. This is September the 28th, 2022. And yes, we have just heard the landfall. The eye on the hurricane, Hurricane On, has been hit Florida today. It has been a rough weather. It's a perfect storm, and it is what it is. Though we can't have it. And Florida has been hit hard by the hurricane. And yes, it is. It has happened. And I have seen it all, folks, at the bottom of my heart. I don't even know, and I can't even tell what's going on. It has hit Florida today. It hit Tampa, and it's going to hit Orlando. It's a category 4, and well, anyway, it has been going on for 150 miles per hour, and you can't have it, and you got to leave. You have to leave Florida right now because it's bad out there, and the best luck for the people in Florida here today. Uh, some people left Florida, and some people get hammered by Florida by hurricane. Uh, this is all. This is all about it. Hurricane and so wherever it goes, it's just always into something. You just can't happen, and it's bad out there. So what do we know about, and what do one of the senators know about? Well, anyway, it has happened today. So it's happening today, and that's for sure. And things are about to get worse by then. And we just learned that Governor Cooper issued a state of emergency for North Carolina. It says Governor Will Cooper issued a state of emergency ahead of severe weather remains from Hurricane Aaron. Don't do now. Don't panic. This is just a precautionary measure being taken to a grassroots federal ad if we need it. State Emergency Management said the State Emergency Operations Center were activated in Raleigh. This means that all partners will work in response and disaster relief will come together. This includes public safety, health and human service, emergency management. North Carolina Emergency Management says they don't expect the weather this weekend to cause major damage, but are preparing for anything. Everybody needs to be paying attention to this. Make sure they have a way to receive watch and warning information from the National Weather Center and local government. Make sure that you are paying attention to social media channels for the local government. 15 North Carolina Emergency Management official said. And it says Hurricane Aaron makes landfall in coastal Florida. What is set in a travel about weekend. And it says emergency management suggests having a plan in place just in case you need to evacuate your home, such as having family or friends you are able to stay with. You should also make sure you have an emergency kit handy as well with batteries and flashlights, novelties with food and everything else you think you may need in the event the power goes out. Revolution Mill is an Atlanta that is known to grapple with flooding issues. Karen Fraser, the owner of Color Restaurant in Greensboro, said, since the building is right here by Buffalo Creek, they're seen somehow raising waters. Yes, it sure is. Now, Fisher said, thankfully, because of a quick restoration project, the high rising waters have been so worrisome recently. He said they are ready for anything to roll their way this weekend. Before here for 5 years and seeing some of the hurricane, some of the heavily rains, sub have Revolutionary Mill has done a great job in getting the hell of it and would never have an issue, and I don't foresee one happening this weekend either, Fisher said. And so that's what it is. And it's happening right here now. And look at the updates right now. Is you just know that Hurricane Aaron has hit in Florida today. It will continue tonight and tomorrow night. Now, the latest project path that says the well of the WABC 11, it says the latest project path before hitting North Carolina on Saturday. But will still is set to strengthen into the Category 4 before landfall on Florida's west coast. Into Wednesday, the storm is set to turn slightly northeastern and slow down and turn into western Cuba as a major hurricane Tuesday, knocking out power to the entire country and leaving 11 million people without electricity before climbing on a collision course with Florida over warm Gulf waters, aiming expectations it will strengthen into the catastrophic Category 4 storm and may landfall in Cuba's Panhandle rail providers, where officials set up 55 shelters, evacuated 50,000 people, and took steps to protect crops in the nation's main tobacco growing region. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Cuba suffered a significant wind and storm surge impacts where the hurricane struck with sustained winds of 125 miles per hour and was set to get even stronger over the warm Gulf of Mexico, reaching top winds of 130 miles per hour, approaching the southwest coast of Florida, while 2.5 million people were ordered to evacuate. Tropical storm force winds were expected across the southern Peninsula late Tuesday, reaching a hurricane force Wednesday, when the eye was predicted to make landfall. With talk about storm force winds extending 140 miles from the Encino, damaging expected across a mile around of Florida. It was not let clear precisely what N will class ashore its second track could determine how severe the storm source is for Tampa Bay, says University of Miami Hurricane Resources Brian McNally. Rainfall south of the bay could make the impact much less bad, McNally said. By Saturday, the storm, having wriggled into a post-tropical event, continues through South Carolina and into North Carolina west of Charlotte. So, what would Ann do to North Carolina? We'll know more than in Florida in a minute. Now, it says the specialists at Ann's forecast for North Carolina are becoming more clear, but could still fluctuate depending on the final path the storm takes. However, the timeline for when the storm will arrive in North Carolina has remained fairly steady. Tropical storm forces winds could arrive in the southern part of the state on Tuesday or Thursday night into Friday morning, with the major of the rain and storms happening Friday and Saturday. Winds is essentially at 30 miles per hour or likely to larger to Saturday morning. Shuts in ends tracks could change the forecast for the neighborhood. What happens when you live greatly depends on when Ann ends up traveling. But generally speaking, the storm is set to dump into between 2 to 4 inches of rain across central North Carolina. So it's going to be on its way to North Carolina on Saturday. And it says, Perth underway in North Carolina. Officials in Raleigh and Durham are already planning for any impacts felt from Hurricane Ian. Officials in Raleigh are making sure flood ponds windows are being looked at to deal with any heavy rains. Meanwhile, in Dawn City, leaders are meeting with Duke Energy to talk about the hurricane preparations. And then look at this. How Florida is preparing and a look back at what Ann has already damaged. It says Hurricane Ann tore into western Cuba on Tuesday as a major hurricane with nothing to stop it from intensifying into a catastrophic Category 4 storm before it hits Florida, with officials ordering 2.5 million people to evacuate before it crashes ashore Wednesday and made landfall at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Tuesday in Cuba, apparently the weather providing. When officials are set up 55 shelters, evacuating 50,000 people, rushing in emergency personnel and took steps to protect crops in Cuba's main tobacco growing region. So what's happening is it never gonna stop and it won't stop ever all over. Now we're going to see what's happening right now, and yes, they are, and for other people, but me, no, it is what it is. It just has happened just so far. What will Hurricane Ann can do as it hits Florida? So now we don't know. We don't know for sure. And it's happening here, and it's going to happen right now. But it's happening right now in Florida. We don't have any updates at this time, and it sure is. I do not know what's happening. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We really don't know. And sometimes when Florida is a great state, it's a great state of Florida, and yes, it is. If the ports is really bad, it's bad out there, and it's gonna get worse till it's all over. But now, as I just saying, from the bottom of my heart, that is what it is. Now, more than 800,000 customers are without power in Florida. Now, listen to this: Florida has surpassed 800,000 customers without power, according to PowerHours.us. The site reports that Lee County, home to Fort Myers and Kent Quarry, is still the most affected with more than 293,000 customers power outages. Collin County, which includes Naples and Muscat Island, has more than 129,000 customers without power. Carson County, which includes the cities of Sarasota and Sister Key, is at more than 112 customers without power, according to the site. Now look at this. Now, Hurricane Ann could remain at hurricane strength for the next 24 hours as it cuts across Florida. Now, Hurricane Ann could remain a hurricane for up to the next 24 hours. The says Michael Benado, the acting duty director at the National Hurricane Center. Right now, we're expecting it to eventually weakening below hurricane strength sometime overnight tonight or early Thursday morning, right until 6 a.m. Wednesday. It's going to take some time for that concentrated to spin down. Brandon said general hurricanes weakening within about 24 hours of making landfall, but warned people not to let their guard down. It will still be a strong tropical storm when it reaches the east coast of Florida, he said. Now the hurricane center is forecasting Hurricane Ann to move northeastern across the state dialogue before moving offshore somewhere between California and Jacksonville, Florida. That's going to take all the way through tomorrow. We have the center of the storm right near the Florida coast tomorrow evening, Brandon said. After that, states on the East Coast, like Georgia and South Carolina, will feel the efforts of heavy rain, storm surge, and high winds as the system moves inland over the weekend. So yes, it is. It is a powerful storm, and people need to get out for sure. Yes, it is. It's a powerful storm. For all the people out there watching at home, millions watching at home, pay close attention. If the storm and Hurricane Ian is a Category 5, then guess what? People are gonna get nothing. They're gonna lose everything. There's gonna be flood all over Florida. That is going to be flood all over Florida. And if you're going to continue to stay, you're on and on, and nobody's going to help you. Nobody's going to rescue you. If the hurricane will kill you, if you know it, it is what it is, and it's happening. So far, it's happening very fast. So, what might happen? So, for sure, I really don't know. But for is, I can't have it, folks. Really can't have it. Now, you see the tracking here. So I can go to live and I can see right now you're gonna see what's happening first. Now let's see what happens. Now once it for all, this is a dangerous storm. The Category 4 has been begun with 140 miles per hour. So right now, when I look at the radar now, folks, I can see what's happening so far. Yeah, it's a Category 4 storm. And that's that's happened so far. It will knock the power out. So now it's I'm gonna move this. So now when I saw this whole stuff going to happen, it's happening right now. It just thought well, we always thought that in Florida everything gonna be okay. I got my cousins there in Florida. It's dangerous, very dangerous so far. So anyway, first I gotta say you gotta be on the lookout for something like this that can happen. And I think we're gonna go into that. So we have to do it now. So now, this is the powerful storm right here. There's a count going 4. Okay, here we go. So now, when I say this, it's a count going 4 right now. It will hit Florida tonight, and then we'll start Thursday at 2 o'clock. It will make landfall, and it's going to hit. It's going to hit probably Daytona Beach or something like that. And it says Thursday 2 p.m. Then on Friday, it will get off and be in the ocean at Friday 2 a.m. And then it's going to hit South Carolina. It started at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. And then Saturday 2 a.m. It's going to rain hard. It will be a tropical storm, and then it will hit North Carolina on Saturday at 2. So there's a lot of things going to be on the lookout for. Real, I got to say this is you can't happen, folks. It just can't happen. Like I said, we've talked about this before. We say this before. It's BS. It's still a Category 4 storm. Now we look at the. Now take a look at this now. N is a strong Category 4 hurricane, picking up maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour. and storm surge has arrived along parts of the southwest Florida coast, including Annapolis, Florida, where over 6 feet of storm surge in the generations has been measured more than any other storm at that goes location in at least 50 years. The travel goes that has since broken. Water levels are reaching the top of the first floor homes of Fort Miles Beach during the hour of the hurricane end. This tree shows the various point for the second floor in Fort Miles Beach. Now and now look at this. Everybody's right here. And it says in Fort Miles. Look at this. Nothing you can do about it here. Now look at this. In Fort Miles, popular storm source is approaching 5 feet. But high tide on a ray previously, the highest storm source was 3.36 feet MHHW during Hurricane Gabrielle in 2001. Meanwhile, winds are blowing offshore, producing a blowout tide in Tampa Bay. Water levels are around 6 feet below average, and many parts of Tampa Bay are dry. Ants eyeballs continues to escape the coast of southwest Florida, including San Barres Island, Port Charlotte, and Fort Myers. Portland really issues extremely winds warning used by the National Weather Service only in situations of the most intense winds and strong hurricanes. Winds over 115 miles per hour is expected. Wind gusts over 100 miles per hour in in Gordon, Florida, for 30 minutes in the 4 p.m. hour. A river extension and coastal network stations at Redfish Pass, Florida, Richard reporting sustained winds of 94 miles per hour and a wind gusts of 126 miles per hour. Sustained winds has been reported as high as 92 miles per hour in Coca-Cola. Winds have recently gusted up to 128 miles per hour in New City of Charlotte Harbor, 124 miles per hour in Portland, Gordon, 118 miles per hour at Temple Point in Camp Coral, 112 miles per hour at the Naples Garden Beach Resort, and 107 miles per hour near Sanibel Island. Gusts over 40 miles per hour have been clocked on the Atlantic side, including a 54 mile per hour gust as Camp Canaveral street flooding was reported in Stewart, about 100 miles north of Miami. And tornado watch is in effect for East Central Florida until 1 a.m. And look at this. It has everywhere. It has gone everywhere. That says the hurricane warning is on Fort Miles. And tropical storm will be. Well, anyway, it's on Miami, West Key, and damn. So tropical watch is on South Carolina and North Carolina, as you might expect. I don't know how this might take. It's just I don't know what it might ask. I people in Florida. Ask people in Florida. Thoughts and prayers in Florida. I ask people in Florida to stay safe. Stay safe. That's all we can do. That's all we can do is pray. All we can do is pray. Till then, I'm Joseph Cook, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care, everybody. Peace out.